Let's start with the most elementary question that this panel asks. I'm going to get into much more granular detail. Is our food safe? Let's start with Dan and then Peggy.
It's certainly safer than it is in China. By and large, our food is safe. We have a regulatory system that's evolved over the years that could be improved, but it started dealing with meat and poultry as Upton Sinclair wrote his book, The Jungle, which was based upon filth and meat plants in Chicago during the Progressive era. And that led to a whole series of laws in dealing with the safety of a lot of products, including the Pure Food and Drug Act, which is under the FDA. But, meat, poultry, and related products have been very heavily regulated for many, many years. And therefore, the United States Department of Agriculture has about 80% of the federal employees that deal with food safety. And yet most of the food is not meat and poultry. It's all the other products, dairy products, it's fruits and vegetables and everything else under the purview of the FDA. And their regulatory system has gotten a lot stronger in recent years, but quite frankly, it was underfunded, under-resourced, and under-regulated for a long time. And then the states are heavily involved. In the private sector, most companies, if they have unsafe food, it will put them out of business. So most companies are pretty good at trying to make sure that their food is safe. There are still gaps in the laws. There are still things that fall through the cracks. But by and large, I would have to say that we have very safe food in America.
Well, and just to underscore, we do have one of the safest food supplies in the world. But there is still a burden of preventable disease that affects Americans every day. I think it's 1 in 6 Americans suffer from a significant bout of foodborne illness in the course of a year. Importantly, about 7,000 die a year. And huge costs to our healthcare system, of course, because it's preventable illness, to productivity, to the companies that suffer from recalls, and questions about trust, consumer trust in their products. So the overall costs, even in a food safety system that is quite robust, are high and can be reduced. And I think, as the New York Times article also underscores, the landscape for food safety is changing enormously, and it requires us, as the governmental agencies, but also industry, to think and act in important new ways, because the supply chains are enormously global. And we can laugh that the food in China is not regulated in the same way. And of course, we are deeply concerned about the people in China. But we also have to recognize that some of the foods that are being regulated in countries around the world that don't have as robust regulatory systems as we do are bringing food into this country. And we once used to say, don't eat anything if you travel to certain countries unless it's peeled or boiled. Well, you buy that in the safe way now.